If I survived long enough, I intended to blame on my deranged partner rubbing off on me. I found the crypt by running into it face first, scraping a cheek on the pitted limestone exterior. I strained my ears, but there was no sign of my attackers. A hail of shots rattled against a nearby path, ricocheting off the cobblestones to fly away in all directions. Okay, no sign other than the fact that someone kept shooting at me. I hugged the wall and told myself not to overreact and waste bullets. I'd already lobotomized a cupid after a gust of wind blew a few leaves across it, giving it a fleeting sense of movement, and that had been with the glow of an almost full moon to see by. It was worse now that the wind had blown dark clouds in, and the spatter of rain made it impossible to hear quiet footsteps. The firing finally stopped, but my whole body continued to shake, to the point that I dropped the reserve clip I'd fumbled out of my pocket. The old one still had several rounds left, but I didn't want to run out at a crucial moment. Another shot hit the cupid I'd decapitated, shaving off one of its little butt cheeks. I flinched, and my foot kicked something that splashed into a nearby puddle. I got to my knees, searching around in the grass for it and trying to curse quietly. A little to the left. I whirled, gun up, heart pounding. But the dark-haired man leaning against a moss-stained fountain didn't look concerned. Maybe because he no longer had a body to worry about. I relaxed slightly. Ghosts I could deal with. I'd even been expecting them. Père Lachaise isn't Paris's oldest cemetery, but it's huge. I'd had to reinforce my shields to be able to see anything past the green glow of thousands of ghost trails, crisscrossing the landscape like a crazy spider web. It was the main reason I'd left my own ghostly helper behind. Billy Joe could be a pain, but I really didn't want him serving as a midnight snack for a bunch of hungry ghosts. Thanks. You're American. Yeah. A bullet pinged against an iron railing nearby, and I flinched. How'd you know? My dear. He looked pointedly at my mud-spattered jeans, once white tennis shoes, and soaked gray t-shirt. The last had been an impulse buy a few days ago, something to wear to target practice to remind my exacting coach that I was still a beginner at this. It's quip, I don't have a license to kill. I have a learner's permit. It was starting to look really ironic now. Lara Croft would have worn something a lot less mud-covered, and she would have had her hair in a sexy style that still kept it out of her face. My own curly mop was at the stage where it was too long to stay out of the way and too short to keep in a ponytail. As a result, I had wet blonde strands falling into my eyes and clinging to my cheeks, adding to the overall lack of cool. When good Americans die, they go to Paris, the ghost said, after taking a drag on a small cigarette. But you're not dead. I suppose the question must be, are you good? My hand finally closed over the clip, and I slammed it into place. I surreptitiously looked him over, wondering what answer was likely to get me some help. I took in the long velvet jacket, the silk cravat, and the lazy smile. Depends on who you ask. Prevarication, how divine. I always did get along better with sinners. Then maybe you can tell me how many people are out there? Another ghost drifted up, wearing only a pair of low-rise blue jeans. He looked vaguely familiar, with shoulder-length brown hair, classic features, and a slightly petulant pout. About a dozen. They just shot up my ugly-ass memorial. The older ghost sniffed. Your legions of fans will doubtless have you another inside a week. Can I help it if I'm popular? And we'll then proceed to vandalize it and everything in the vicinity. Hey, be cool. The older ghost bristled.